Oh my god.
Well, this is the fucking worst segment ever.
I know. Why do we do this to ourselves?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Askin. You paid for every boob you've touched, so I mean,
Not every. Some of them were asleep.
Haskins. Every podcast has got some sort of, like, they're there for a reason. Okay, we're going to talk about, like, you know, it's a sports podcast.
Right.
It's like an entertainment podcast.
Political podcast.
Or a political podcast or whatever. Like, man, like, sometimes it's just cool to, like, sit down and maybe listen to somebody or people who just don't have anything,
Right.
you know,
Anything talking about
scripted or ready
BS.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Just
Here we go. All right, Dan, you want me to break this down? You play devil's advocate this time. How do we know? We weren't there.
You can't just passive aggressively expose yourself.
4 more drinks. Let's do shots.
It ain't my wiener.
It looks like somebody was murdered in here. Like,
I hate it, actually, when guys send me dick pics.
I'm gonna ask Askin Haskins.
Like, I don't know if it was a ghost, but I saw an ape.
Alcohol is my way of life, and I aim to keep it.
Marta, you see this book? It's got a giant dick pic in it.
We should tear them pages out.
It's got the insides and everything. It's gross.
Askin. Haskins.
Get your shit together! What the hell, man? How many mouths you been mouth to mouthing?
I am in great pain. Please help me.
Oh, don't make me beg now.
What is up? Welcome to a remotely relevant episode of Askin Haskins. Make sure you are giving us a like, subscribe, doing all that good stuff. If you have a comment in the comments below, and maybe we'll talk about it. I am your host, Rick. Joining me tonight is Dan.
What's going on?
Claudette says she is on her way, so she will be here in a moment.
Yeah,
We've got
heard
ourselves
that.
we've got ourselves a good show tonight. We're gonna do some news. UFO hearings. We're gonna talk about the UFO hearings that went on over last month here. We're gonna get into some old news, talk about football and phallics. And then if we have time, we're gonna get to some on the internet. But first, Dan, Toastmaster General, let's do some remote toast.
All right. I got one. I found. It's here's to a long life and a happy one. A good love and an honest one. An easy death and a late one. A cold pint and another one. Cheers.
Cheers. Would that be dedicated to anything?
That did kind of get inspired by my parents' 45th wedding anniversary today.
Congratulations.
It's a long time, man.
It's a very, very long time. Awesome.
Very awesome.
For sure. Congratulations. And that's
Love you, Mom, Dad.
yeah, that's no nothing to scoff at. That's a long time.
No, it's not. Especially now, it's not.
I know, I can barely deal with you for 45 seconds.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah.
You know?
You'd be playing it under the roses.
All right. All right. Well, I'm guessing we should probably try and get ourselves into our first topic here. Let me bang some stuff up, try and waste some time, see if Claudette wants to come in.
Yeah. We'll give her a couple minutes. And I'd just like to say that people that needlessly sell out are the worst kind of people.
mean, where is
It's
that coming from? All right. Right? I mean, it's just such a horrible thing for anybody to do, you know? I mean, it's just sad.
It's very sad. Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Oh, so let us get into. All right, we got ourselves some UFO hearings. To open it up, we're gonna, hold on. Let me kind of set this up first before we actually get into it. I went through 2 hours of this hearing, and most of it is BS. So I went through and I cut through maybe 15, 20 minutes of the best stuff. And the first video we're going to go through is going to be like the opening statements of the 3 witnesses, 2 of which have actually personally seen something. And then the other one is who's pretty much gotten most of the attention over this month is like a whistleblower who has secondhand knowledge of things. But this hearing, say, go ahead.
I don't know how anybody gets so worked up over secondhand knowledge. Like, if you didn't see it, how do you really know what you're getting so worked up about?
Right. I have no idea. But anyhow, like, most of this hearing is all about transparency. So if you might want to keep that in mind, because I did cut all the BS out. So let's get to it.
All right.
Mr. Graves, for 5 minutes for your opening statement.
Thank you. Chairman Grothman, Ranking Member Garcia, distinguished members of the House Oversight Subcommittee on National Security, Representatives Burchett and Luna. My name is Ryan Fobbs Graves, and I am a former F-18 pilot with a decade of service in the U.S. Navy, including 2 deployments in Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Inherent Resolve. I have experienced advanced UAP firsthand, and I'm here to voice the concerns of more than 30 commercial aircrew and military veterans who have confided their similar encounters with me. Today, I would like to highlight 3 critical issues that demand our action. As we convene here, UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine. Military aircrew and commercial pilots, trained observers whose lives depend on accurate identification, are frequently witnessing these phenomena. The stigma attached to UAP is real and powerful and challenges national security. It silences commercial pilots who fear professional repercussions, discourages witnesses, and is only compounded by recent government claims questioning the credibility of eyewitness testimony. Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden. Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust. In 2014, I was an F-18 Foxtrot pilot in the Navy Fighter Attack Squadron 11, the Red Rippers, and I was stationed at NAS Oceana in Virginia Beach. After upgrades were made to our jet's radar systems, we began detecting unknown objects operating in our airspace. At first, we assumed they were radar errors, but soon we began to correlate the radar tracks with multiple onboard sensors, including infrared systems, eventually through visual ID. During a training mission in Warning Area Whiskey 72, 10 miles off the coast of Virginia Beach, 2 F-18 Super Hornets were split by a UAP. The object, described as a dark gray or a black cube inside of a clear sphere, came within 50 feet of the lead aircraft and was estimated to be 5 to 15 feet in diameter. The mission commander terminated the flight immediately and returned to base. Our squadron submitted a safety report, but there was no official acknowledgement of the incident and no further mechanism to report the sightings. Soon, these encounters became so frequent that aircrew would discuss the risk of UAP as part of their regular pre-flight briefs. Recognizing the need for action and answers, I founded Americans for Safe Aerospace. The organization has since become a haven for UAP witnesses who were previously unspoken due to the absence of a safe intake process. More than 30 witnesses have come forward, and almost 5,000 Americans have joined us in the fight for transparency at safeaerospace.org. The majority of witnesses are commercial pilots at major airlines. Often, they are veterans with decades of flying experience. Pilots are reporting UAP at altitudes that appear above them, at 40,000 feet, potentially in low Earth orbit or in the gray zone below the Kármán line, making inexplainable maneuvers like right-hand turns and retrograde orbits or J-hooks. Sometimes these reports are reoccurring, with numerous recent sightings north of Hawaii and in the North Atlantic. Other veterans are also coming forward to us regarding UAP encounters in our airspace and oceans. The most compelling involve observations of UAP by multiple witnesses and sensor systems. I believe these accounts are only scratching the surface, and more will share their experiences once it is safe to do so. In closing, I recognize the skepticism surrounding this topic. If everyone could see the sensor and video data I witnessed, our national conversation would change. I urge us to put aside stigma and address the security and safety issue this topic represents. If UAP are foreign drones, it is an urgent national security problem. If it is something else, it is an issue for science. In either case, unidentified objects are concerned for flight safety. The American people deserve to know what is happening in our skies. It is long overdue. Thank you.
All right, that was the first guy. You got anything to say about it? I know you were kind of...
No, it took me by shock that when he said it was part of their pre-flight briefing was to discuss the possibility. But again, like he said, you don't know what it is. You don't know if it's extraterrestrial or enemy drone or what.
Well, that's why they're not calling it a UFO. They're calling them UAPs, for unidentified aerial phenomena.
I know, but it's still the same thing as a UFO and unidentified flying object.
Right.
It is exactly the definition of it.
I know. I'm just saying. All right, let's get on to the next guy.
Mr. Chairman, ranking members and congressmen, thank you. I'm happy to be here. This is an important issue, and I'm grateful for your time. My name is David Charles Grush. I was an intelligence officer for 14 years, both in the U.S. Air Force, both active duty, Air National Guard, and Reserve, at the rank of major, and most recently from 2021 to 2023, at the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, NGA, at the GS-15 civilian level, which is the military equivalent of a full bird colonel. I was my agency's co-lead in unidentified anomalous phenomena and transmedium object analysis, as well as reporting to the UAP task force, UAPTF, and eventually, once it was established, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, AARO. I became a whistleblower through a PPD-19 urgent concern filing in May 2022 with the Intelligence Community Inspector General. Following concerning reports from multiple esteemed and credentialed current and former military and intelligence community individuals that the U.S. government is operating with secrecy above congressional oversight with regards to UAPs. My testimony is based on information I've been given by individuals with a long-standing track record of legitimacy and service to this country, many of whom also have shared compelling evidence in the form of photography, official documentation, and classified oral testimony to myself and my various colleagues. I have taken every step I can to corroborate this evidence over a period of 4 years while I was with the UAP Task Force and do my due diligence on the individual sharing it. This is because of these steps, I believe strongly in the importance of bringing this information before you. I am driven by a...
All right. For some reason, my edits stuff didn't save up, so that was like the more boring guy.
The second-hand information.
He didn't really have too much to say, so we're going to go skip to this guy here.
Transparency. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer your questions.
Thank you. Commander Fravor?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There she is.
Congresswoman.
She made it.
I want to first thank the invitation to speak on the UAP topic. This
Can't see you guys.
How come? It seems to be continuing to gain.
I don't know. You should be able to see us.
As you know, my name is David Fravor. I'm a retired commander in the United States Navy.
Can you see the video?
No, I can't see nothing.
You can't see nothing.
Nothing.
Log out and log back in.
Yep.
Oh, there it is. Never mind.
All right. Well,
I'm sure you want to exit this program. Cancel?
no, don't want to exit the program.
Okay.
All right, we good?
Yeah, we could.
Welcome, Claudette.
Thank you. Sorry.
Let's
I had to go
drink.
paint Mom's toenails.
Oh, okay. Let's go drink
So,
to Claudette
all right.
showing up.
All right. Let's drink. Ready? I got something
You
different
missed
tonight.
the toast.
Guess what it is?
What? What do you got? What is it?
It's a pickleback.
Oh, okay. Whatever that is.
It's good. It's actually really good.
You do you, all right?
You're disgusting.
Do you know what it is? Have you ever heard of it, Danny?
Not really, but if you try to make that one of the drinks you serve,
Yep, not there.
oh,
It's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm going with the Buzzard Brew.
Good.
But anyhow, you didn't miss much, Claudette.
No.
We only wished Aunt Renee and Uncle Dan a happy anniversary.
Well, happy anniversary, you two.
Brittany says, "Hey, girl."
Hey, girl. Hey.
And we're talking about UFOs and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I want to talk about UFOs.
Well, we're here. We're talking about UFOs. You missed 2 of the witnesses' opening statements, but you didn't miss much. So here, let's keep going. This is the 3rd guy.
All right.
In 2004, I was a commanding officer of Strike Fighter Squadron 41, the world-famous Black Aces. We were attached to Carrier Wing 11, stationed on board the USS Nimitz, and had begun a 2-month workup cycle off the coast of California. On this day, we were scheduled for a 2v2 air-to-air training with the USS Princeton as our control. When we launched off Nimitz, my wingman was joining up. We were told that the training was going to be suspended, and we were going to proceed with real-world tasking. As we proceeded to the west, the air controller was counting down the range to an object that we were going to, and we were unaware of what we were going to see when we arrived. The controller had told us that these objects had been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, hanging out for hours, and then going straight back up. For those who don't realize, above 80,000 feet is space. We arrived at the location at approximately 20,000 feet, and the controller called merge plot, which means that our radar blip was now in the same resolution cell as the contact. As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some whitewater off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no whitecaps from waves. So the whitewater stood out in a large blue ocean. All 4 of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down saw a white tic-tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping-pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wings. As we started clockwise towards the object, my Wizzo and I decided to go down and take a closer look with the other aircraft staying in high cover to observe both us and the tic-tac. We proceeded around the circle about 90 degrees from the start of our descent, and the object suddenly shifted its longitudinal axis, aligned it with my aircraft, and began to climb. We continued down another 270 degrees, nose low, where the tic-tac, or we considered 270 degrees to where, and we went nose low to where the tic-tac would have been. Our altitude at this point was about 15,000 feet, and the tic-tac was about 12,000. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingman, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the whitewater was at, and it was gone also. So as we started to turn back towards the east, the controller came up and said, "Sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is at your cap point, roughly 60 miles away in less than a minute." You can calculate the speed. We returned to Nimitz. We were taking off our gear. We were talking to one of my crews that was getting ready to launch. We mentioned it to him, and they went out and luckily got the video that you see, that 90-second video. What you don't see is the radar tape that was never released, and we don't know where it's at, of the active jamming that the object put on an APG-73 radar, and I can get into modes later if you're interested. What is shocking to us is that the incident was never investigated. None of my crew were ever questioned. Tapes were never taken, and after a couple days, it turned into a great story with friends. It wasn't until 2009 until Jay Stratton had contacted me to investigate. Unbeknownst to all, he was part of the ATIP program in the Pentagon led by Lou Elizondo. There was an unofficial report that came out that's now on the internet. Years later, I was contacted by the other pilot, Alex Dietrich, and asked if I'd been contacted, and I said no, but I'm willing to talk. I was contacted by Mr. Elizondo, and we talked for a short period of time, and he said we'd be in contact. A few weeks after that, I was made aware that Lou had left the Pentagon in protest and joined forces with Tom DeLong, Chris Mellon, Steve Justice, and others to form Two Stars Academy, an organization that pressed the issue with leading industry experts and U.S. government officials. They worked with Leslie Keene, who is present today, Ralph Blumenthal, and Helene Cooper to publish the articles in the New York Times in 2017.
I think that's enough of that. So, thoughts?
I don't know, if the stuff he's talking about, as much as he stutters through it, that just makes me question. Like,
Have they shown any
it's all
pictures?
theater, man.
You
True
think?
or false, it's all theater. They're talking about this now for some reason because they're distracting you from what they don't want you to see that's really happening right now.
I thought about that myself, actually, but have they shown any pictures, like proof?
Well, they're talking. I mean,
it's testimony. It's all just it's theater.
Yeah. Well, they were throughout the. As I said earlier, I went through the whole 2-hour hearing and took out the pretty much good bits. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Stuff. But they were referencing a video that I think we actually watched in a past video. Some of those when we were doing the ghost stuff, we also did a little bit of UFO. And I think it was. I don't think it was remotely remote. We were doing it. I think it was when we were in studio. So I think
the thing is, even without the military say or the government saying it, there's been recordings of shit in the sky that you can't explain.
Oh, yeah.
Like
sure.
Drones.
Or maybe.
This was all before drones, so there's a lot of stuff was seen.
You never know.
Yeah.
We had drones and nobody told us about it.
Yeah.
We're always the last to know.
Yeah.
Claudette's a birds aren't real person.
A what?
Yeah. They're not
real.
What aren't real?
Birds.
Oh, I honestly just saw that the other day.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed.
It's crazy, right? It's a real thing.
I am
They
not
have a
birds aren't real
society.
person.
Well, the guy who started it has come out and said it ain't. He made it up.
Right.
I mean, but some people still freaking believe. All right.
I
Anyhow,
was like, what is this? Is this a joke? I mean, I literally, probably like 3 days ago, I saw that. I'm like, what's he talking about? Birds aren't real? What is it? Theory or conspiracy theory or whatever it is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't believe that.
all right. Well, let's get into some of these assets. I mean, senators and stuff asking some questions.
Has the U.S. government become aware of actual evidence of extraterrestrial, otherwise unexplained forms of intelligence? And if so, when do you think this first occurred?
I like to use the term non-human. I don't like to denote origin. Keeps the aperture open, both scientifically.
First off, all three of them have non-human entities around us right now. If you have a pet, you have a non-human entity around you. So
Well, exactly. And the mosquitoes and flies and
Anything, yeah.
Yep.
Good point. Good point.
So it sounds good because it's theater.
I don't like to refer to them. Then
In 97, we had the famous Phoenix Light case. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that.
Sure.
There were two things that went along with that, and the explanation was military training range off Luke and the Barry Goldwater range. Do you know anything different other than the official explanation of those lights?
Only what's in the public vernacular about it. That was outside the scope of my.
You mean the human entities?
And I'm pretty skeptical. I don't trust anything in this town.
No, the public human.
And so, I think that's because I'm from Missouri. You've got to show me, right? With that being said, there's been a lot of things that have been said in the public, Mr. Grush, and so I want to get down to, if we can, some specifics, right? So, at one point you had said that there has been harmful activity or aggressive activity. Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured. And the activity
By UAPs or by people within the federal government?
Both.
Okay, so there has been activity by alien or non-human technology and or beings that has caused harm
Follow
to
every single one of it.
humans.
I can't get into the specifics.
Of course you can.
But at least the activity that I personally witnessed, and not to be
This guy is an asshat.
because they tell you never to acknowledge tradecraft, right? So,
He's a
what I
professional
personally witnessed,
actor.
myself and my wife, was very
He's full of shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he's a
One of my
politician too. So
constituents
yeah.
actually sent this next question. I figured
I just had that intuition.
the same thought. You
What?
said that the
I have
U.S.
This guy's a politician.
has
Grush isn't.
intact
Well, he's
spacecraft. You said the
appearing
government has
in the
alien
government.
bodies
He
or
fucking
alien
bought the
species.
bullshit to get there.
Have you
Right.
seen? Have you seen the spacecraft?
You can't get into
I have
any
to be careful
specifics,
to
he told
describe
you.
what I've seen firsthand and not in this environment, but I could answer that question behind closed doors.
My view has
Can't
been
answer it
that
right now.
we are billions
Yeah.
of light years away from any other system.
So it's a
And
fucking cop out.
the concept that an alien species that's technologically advanced enough to travel billions of light years gets here and somehow is incompetent enough to not survive Earth or crashes is something that I find a little bit far-fetched.
Humorous.
And with that being said, you have
No, but
mentioned
hold
that
on. The
there's
guy's answer is
interdimensional
kind of.
potential. Could
I
you
agree.
expound?
No, but no, it's
can
a
answer
figure
the
of
first
statement because every space flight we've sent to fucking space has survived. You know.
Well, let's just listen to his answer because I kind of agree with
Okay.
him.
All right.
Question, and I'm here as a fact witness and expert, but I will give you a theoretical framework at least to work off to kind of espouse crashes, regardless of your level of sentience, right? Planes crash, cars crash, n number of sorties, however high, a small percentage are going to end in mission failure, if you will, as we say in the Air Force.
These
Shit
aircraft
happens.
have they been identified that they
I have no
are
idea what he
being
just
produced
said.
He's talking about
domestic,
how, like, no matter what, like, the guy was like, "Hey, if these aliens are smart enough to come here,
Yeah, I got
then,
that.
then why would they crash?" And the
Right.
fact of the matter is shit happens, and
Right.
Okay.
every once in a while, something's gonna.
Yeah, there's
We
always
just
train
use big
crashes
words
and
that,
shit.
most
It-
people don't know.
It's what it is, man.
And if it happens often enough, it's gonna happen often.
Yeah, I don't discredit that there's aliens. I just think that, I don't know.
Well, no, we'll get to it. Ed.
military,
We'll get to my idea of what's
contractors.
going on, and Dan's already touched on
Is there any evidence that that's what's being recovered?
Not to my knowledge, plus the recoveries predate a lot of our advanced programs that I previously am witting of. So,
All right, that was that one.
He's such a fucking asshole.
Yeah, I mean, when you don't like the other two guys were more interesting in their opening statements simply because they
Right,
had
but it's
things, you know.
it's better theater.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's still not. I hate
the
the
whole
way we're doing shit right now. It's driving me out of my mind.
we
Like as a government, as a society,
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I'll give you that.
totally ass backwards.
I will give you that. Let's get to some more of these asshats. How about that?
Yeah.
Are there common characteristics to the UAPs that have
Literally.
been cited by different pilots? And
Yeah,
can you
it's
describe what the convergence of
Little-
descriptions is?
little sensitivity.
Certainly.
He's got cancer.
We were primarily seeing dark gray
Oh,
black cubes.
it's made. I thought it was his hair.
I'm sorry, dark gray or black cubes?
Yes, inside of a clear sphere.
He looks a little like
The
Robert
apex
De
or tips
Niro.
of the cube were touching the inside of that sphere.
Oh,
That was primarily
yeah.
what was being reported.
I'm going
we
to
were
hell.
able to gain a visual tally of these objects.
We're all-
And that occurred over almost 8 years.
Wow,
We're
As
not
far as I know,
believing it,
still-
remember?
And
Oh, yeah,
your
right.
general
You gotta
interpretation
repent.
of these
Yeah,
phenomena.
never.
What is your current
Ever.
thinking, trying to
I
make
got a
sense
letter
of
from my
them?
sister saying,
I'll
"What's
say,
about
I'm
that?"
not like a UFO fanatic.
We can
It's
talk
not-
about
it's
that.
not
Hold on.
me.
Let's get
I will tell you that
got
what
it.
we saw with 4 sets
people
of
watch
eyes
what we're watching.
over a
Did you
5-minute
get one?
period,
No.
still,
Okay.
there's nothing, we have nothing close to it. It was amazing to see. I told my buddy I wanted to fly it, but yeah, it's just an incredible technology.
My next question would actually be for Mr. Graves. Can you please explain to me in detail the event that occurred?
Don't say
at
Mr.
Vandenberg
Graves
Air
is
Force
a cool
Base?
name.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Pretty cool.
In the
Certainly, he
2002
said.
timeframe, a large group of Boeing
Certainly.
contractors were
Certainly,
operating
pretty
near one of the
lady.
launch facilities at Vandenberg Air Force Base when they observed a very
Said it
large
with the
I didn't say for you.
enthusiasm of David getting us a
sided
beer.
red square approach the base from the ocean and hover at low altitude over one of the launch facilities. This object remained for about 45 seconds or so before darting off over the mountains. There was a similar event within 24 hours later in the evening. This was a morning event, I believe 8:45 in the morning. Later in the evening, post-sunset, there were reports of other sightings on base, including some aggressive behaviors. These objects were approaching some of the security guards at rapid speeds before darting off. And this is information that was received through one of the witnesses that have approached me at Americans for Safe Aerospace.
Gentlemen, let's talk about the laws of physics for a second. Mr. Graves and Commander Favor, I heard you talk about speed. When those objects broke the sound barrier, did they make a sonic boom?
I was in a jet. You can't hear anything. It's kind of loud in there.
Yeah, you're not able to actually personally tell within the vehicle. I will say the objects that we were seeing, they were spherical, and they were observed up to Mach 2, which is a very non-aerodynamic shape.
What about G-forces? Let's talk about G-forces of those vehicles. Could a human survive those G-forces with known technology today?
No.
No, not for the acceleration rates that we observed.
Okay. What about what they look like? How close did you get? Did you see a seam or a rivet or a section? And what I mean is, obviously, the jets you're flying have all those things. Did these objects have those?
Do you want to go, Ryan?
I didn't have the detail to be able to tell that.
So we got within a half mile of Tic Tac, which people say that's pretty far, but in airplanes, that's actually relatively close. No, it was perfectly white, smooth, no windows, although when we did take the original FLIR video that is out there, when you put it on a big screen, it actually had two little objects that came out of the bottom of it. But other than that, no windows, no seams, no nothing.
Mr. Grush, as a result of your previous government work, have you met with people with direct knowledge or have direct knowledge yourself of non-human origin craft?
Yes, I personally interviewed those individuals.
Alrighty, that's it on that.
Mr. Gray's a good name.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it is.
I like Brittany's comment though.
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Gray.
Great. I thought she said
That's what
great.
I said.
I thought she was agreeing with Dan. Okay, I got it. I got you guys. Okay, I got one more. Let me pull it up here. And this is just one person's questioning, but I think it kind of sums up the whole what do you want to say, the aura of the whole hearing. It's all about transparency and how we should all know, and there needs to be a way for them to, report this kind of stuff. But I think this kind of...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good morning to our witnesses who are testifying today. I want to thank each of you for being here to discuss a topic of grave importance to our national security. Earlier this year, a Chinese spy balloon was shot down off the coast of my home state of South Carolina. Since the Roswell incident in 1947, many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects crisscrossing our skies. Whether these are UAPs or weather phenomena, advanced technology from American allied or enemy forces, or something more out of this world. So my first question, I have several questions, and if we can just be quick on these first two, I'm going to ask each of you the same question, and then I'll get to each of you individually. The first one, when you reported your experiences with a UAP, did any of you face any repercussions with your superiors, yes or no?
No.
No.
I've actually never seen anything personally, believe it or not. So.
All right. And then do you believe there's an active disinformation campaign within our government to deny existence of UAPs, yes or no?
I don't have an answer to that.
Good answer.
I think previously with like Project Blue Book, yes, but currently I don't speak for the United States government.
Okay. Thank you. I have a few questions for Mr. Graves. What percentage of UAP sightings, in your belief, go unreported by our pilots?
This is an approximation based off of my personal experience speaking with a number of pilots, but I would estimate we're somewhere near 5% reporting, perhaps.
So like 95% basically don't report seeing UAPs.
That's just my personal estimate.
In the incident off Virginia Beach, do you believe the Navy took the danger to your aircraft seriously after it was reported?
Absolutely.
A few questions for Mr. Favor. As an expert naval aviator, have you ever seen an object that looked and moved like the Tic Tac UAP?
No.
Did the Tic Tac UAP move in such a way that defied the laws of physics?
The way we understand them, yes.
Many dismiss UAP reports as classified weapons testing by our own government, but in your experience as a pilot, does our government typically test advanced weapon systems right next to multi-million-dollar jets without informing our pilots?
No, we have test ranges for that.
It took over 15 years for your encounter with the Tic Tac to be declassified. Do you feel there was a good reason to prevent lawmakers from having access to this footage?
No, I just think it was ignored when it happened, and it just sat somewhere in a file. Never got reported.
In a drawer. It happens a lot up here. Shocker. Mr. Grush, a couple of questions for you too.
Let's just admit
UAPs do you feel are adequately investigated?
Let's admit that we can't do our job.
5% that are reported.
Yeah.
I can only speak for.
Yeah, we try. We haven't figured it out yet.
I tried to look at every report that came through that I could triage. So.
Do you believe that officials at the highest levels of our national security apparatus have unlawfully withheld information from Congress and subverted our oversight authority?
There are certain elected leaders that had more information that I'm not sure what they've shared with certain Gang of Eight members or et cetera, but certainly I would not be surprised.
Okay. You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft.
I got proof, but yeah, maybe.
In extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Like what?
Dogs.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human.
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Were they
The question is humanoid or non-humanoid?
I don't know. I just ordered it out.
I mean, yeah, they could just take
The
a
specific
freaking
documentation
monkey.
I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Fly. Bird.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So, and you may or may not.
If he's still working for the government, he can't talk about shit that he's doing, or he's gonna get in
Who
trouble.
in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in those.
And how soon can we get that list?
I'm happy to provide that to you after the hearing.
Super, thank you, and I yield back.
All right. I don't really like her politics, but I like her line of questioning.
Yeah, she's yeah.
She's a bitch, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she's, I mean, but she's in a bitch in a good way. She's like, you know what? I ain't gonna, take this bullshit. I'm just gonna call it as it is. I'm like under the table, under the radar type thing.
I might not like your politics, but I'll give you credit when you do your job right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You might be wrong, but you're doing it well.
Right.
But
anyhow, all of this stuff, man, and Dan has already alluded to it, man, is all right. Aliens and UFOs and UAPs and all that kind of stuff.
What is a UAP?
Unidentified
Unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Okay.
UFO. They're
Got
just,
it.
It's same, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's the same exact definition.
Changing the
What the fuck? Well, why do they have to confuse everybody?
because because everybody has, when they hear UFO, they think aliens, and sometimes it might be like ball lightning or something like that, which is
Ball lightning.
I know, but you get what I'm saying. It might be an actual phenomenon that has nothing to do.
Right, a natural phenomenon we just don't understand. Right, yeah, exactly. I get that.
No matter what it is.
But it's still, yes, it's still an identified flying object, which was the original UFO. Like, now we gotta change it.
Right.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Right, understood. But as I was saying, is you have a writer's strike, you have an actor's strike, you have delivery drivers who were about to go on strike. You get what I'm saying? You have civil unrest at the moment. Let's feed the people a freaking shiny object.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
But
That's what all of that was about.
On top of that, remember I believe it was the first guy you showed was talking about if it's foreign drones, we need to get on top of it because it's a threat, and if it's something else, we need to get on top of it because it's a threat.
Right.
And it's still just more fear mongering.
Yeah.
In a different flavor, man. It is.
Yep. Let's give the military industrial complex more money, right?
Yeah. We need to fucking feed it.
Right.
I think it's a bunch of bullshit. I mean, I'm not ever denying that they.
No, and I'm not saying that they're not. It's not real or whatever.
Right.
It is, but it's all of a sudden we're going to talk about it. Area 51's been like this top secret black zone. You don't even think about it. They'll come to your house and question you about it. You know.
Right.
And now we're just going to start talking and put our pilots on the stand in the Senate. And
yeah.
What?
That's how. What?
What?
What's your problem, Claudette?
I was on mute because the dog was barking.
What was that?
Yeah, I know.
You want me to stroke? Do I need to call 911?
I was telling Baker to shut up.
What's your address before you lose consciousness?
I put myself on mute so I could tell Baker to shut up.
Oh.
Totally derailed the show there. Oh man. Like just stop. Anyhow, but yes, that's how I feel. Like I'm in the same agreement. Like there's other life out there for sure. Whether it's here,
I think it's arrogant to think there's not.
Right, whether it's here or not, I don't know. But the possibility,
no, right, yeah,
it's there. It's possible.
Oh, absolutely.
Whatever.
I mean, but I think when you start, especially at a time now where everything's like all the people are trying to like finally get a say in what's going on.
Right.
You have some shiny hearing that's there to distract people.
Right. Exactly.
Before you know it, it'll be like
actual problems that are going on.
Hey, you know what? We still haven't found Epstein's client list.
No, still not. No.
So we found aliens. We found aliens before Epstein's client list. The fuck is that?
Oh shit, man. Anyhow, I would like to remind people to
like it and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Our latest episode is coming out next week on YouTube. It is episode 15.
Wow.
Titled Toasts and Ghosts. Yeah, it's a fun one. You can also listen to it wherever you get your podcasts, and that will be next week. Right now, we are going to take ourselves a little break. 5 minutes, guys. Go get yourself a bathroom break, get yourself a drink, and we will be back, and we will catch you guys on the flip side. I am going to find myself the video first. Here we go. And there we go. Catch you guys on the flip side. Nope, that wasn't it. Let me try that again. Where is it?
What?
Oh, that is it. Okay, let's do it.
I'm running.
Guys, I will catch you guys on the flip side. That was very haphazard, but here we
It's
go.
break time, baby.
Anyhow, it is time to do some on the internet.
I remember that sound.
Mm-hmm. Me too. Took 14 and a half minutes to download one boob.
For sure.
You couldn't even save it unless you
Yeah.
had a floppy disk.
Yeah.
But if you expect to get any boob, I'm gonna need a buttload of Twinkies.
See what I mean? See what I mean? You're going to take a buttload of AOL.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to take.
Twinkies is slang for
You had to run
bandwidth.
you had to run the phone while you're all the
You
way to the
kids
phone
nowadays will never
Yeah.
understand the struggle.
Mm-mm.
was
If somebody
awful.
calls your phone, it drops you.
Yep.
Right.
Struggle is real.
And your
I'm
phone
still
was
talking.
like this big.
Guys, I'm still talking about downloading a boob.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
All right.
Oh, you got to
Now
start all
we
over.
just-
Let's not talk about the practical
But if you
aspects of
expect to
it.
get any boob, I'm gonna need a buttload of Twinkies.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If being publicly intoxicated is illegal, how could one ever legally leave a bar and walk home?
You can't.
It's true.
By walking.
Yes, you can't.
If you're
You
like
can't.
in a hotel or something, and the bar's in a hotel,
Yeah.
and that's like.
Can I tell you
live there?
something?
Yeah.
You absolutely can. There's a difference between being buzzed and being intoxicated.
It depends on the cop.
True.
For sure. But if you're walking home and you're all over the place, you're intoxicated.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're just walking home, you had a couple beers and you're buzzed and you're just walking home straight, that cop ain't gonna freaking stop you.
Well,
Unless
honestly,
he's
Unless
a
you're looking
prick
for,
cop. Like,
like-
it's possible. Like, if all they need to do is, like, say you go in a bar, you order a beer, you take one sip, and some asshole starts shit with you, you get into a bar fight.
Right.
You are going to get charged with public intoxication for having that trace of alcohol in you. It's a whole nother charge on top of,
right. But
you know,
you
assault
also,
or whatever.
You also have to realize that it's the fighting that you're getting in trouble for. I think that I believe, well, this is me because I am who I am. I believe that the normal police officer, unless you are creating some sort of disturbance as you walk home drunk, that's one thing. But I mean, if you're just going home and you're drunk, most generally you will be able to continue your way home.
Or the
Right,
right,
yeah.
ride home.
And I feel that open container and public intoxication kind of go hand in hand.
Right.
So, like, if you are walking home and
With
you're
a beer.
drunk with a beer in your hand,
Yeah.
that's when they're going to be like, okay, you can't do this.
Right.
Fair enough. And I'm not saying all cops are pricks or whatever. And there are a lot of cops that, you know, even walking home with a beer, they'll take the beer and let you continue to walk home, you know.
Right.
Right.
Most generally, if you're not being belligerent.
If you're not
shit.
like pissing on all the storefronts as you walk home or whatnot, you know.
Right.
So
It's mutual respect. You know,
Yeah.
you show them respect, they show you respect most generally.
most generally, that's how it works.
For sure.
I know most of you don't feel that way, but that's how it works.
No, we do.
Not
That's
talking
what
about
we're
you. I'm
saying.
talking about
Oh, online, yeah.
Here is a reply from the internet. Don't get drunk. If you do get drunk, sober up before you leave. Back when I was a bouncer, the law said that you could be arrested for public intoxication if, in the opinion of the person making the arrest, you are a danger to yourself or others. So a cop could pretty much arrest you for leaving the bar if they wanted to. Usually it is because they didn't think you were safe going home alone, or you're being obnoxious and pissed them off.
what did I say?
If you're drinking,
Got it, yeah.
know your limits and don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
You're usually fine.
You're
But
fine.
also, let's be realistic. Who wants to stay at a bar and sober up?
For real?
Yeah, right.
You're
Oh, they
going,
kick
Especially
you out
after
at
you've
2.
been
There
drunk.
ain't enough time.
Yeah.
you're going there for a reason.
Right.
And especially after you've been drunk,
It's
Well,
not
and
the
that's just, it is.
it's not the super cool peanuts that they have on the bar.
Right.
that you can throw on the floor.
Yeah.
It's not just leaving the bar, though. I remember when I used to hang out at the bar all the time, they'd come in and do where they probation officers come in and do the checks.
Yeah.
'Cause if you're on probation, you can't be in the bar.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's a whole different thing, though.
Right, but there were guys that got belligerent with them because they were drunk, and they got charged with public intoxication in the bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is
Well, don't fuck with a
what
probation
you do
officer
there.
or a parole officer.
I know,
They're
but
for a reason.
I know they are, but still, it is
Right.
kind of a fucking Gestapo state when you walk into a bar and demand everybody's ID for
Just give him your
no
ID.
reason. I
All
know,
right,
and
how
I
many
did.
ti- how
That's
many-
why I never got arrested.
I don't think that's ever happened to me once when I've been in a bar.
Right.
Not once.
It happened quite a few times there in the pool leagues I was in.
Oh.
Because a lot of them guys were on probation and shouldn't have been shooting pool. That's
there you
why they
go.
were coming in.
Yeah. How about just follow the rules and you'll be all right. You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just do what the overlords say.
Right.
Yeah.
No
It's
problem.
That has
son.
nothing to do with it. You can't do it yourself, clearly. So somebody has to do it for you.
Thank God.
Right. Because you can't. You know you can't. And you agree. I'm going to drink.
Askin Haskins.
We're a family show, and that we're all family. You definitely shouldn't be watching this with your kids. Alrighty. We are back. Make sure that you are getting your questions in at questions@askinhaskins.com. Email them to us and we'll put them on the show. We want your questions, so make sure you're doing that. You're watching Asking Haskins remotely relevant. Also, I want to remind everybody that we are going to be doing a episode 15 watch party. I'm just going to put it online and we'll be in the chat. So if you guys want to stop in, chat with us, we'll do it. We'll chat and watch the episode, and it'll be a
That's
fun
pretty
time.
cool.
Make sure you join
Hang
us.
out.
When's that?
Next week, next Saturday,
All right.
10 p.m.
All right.
No days off.
No days off.
No days off. I'm used to that.
Yeah. Make sure you are liking the show, smashing that like button, giving us a follow,
Like it and subscribe.
subscribe if you're watching on YouTube.
Right.
Make sure you get that done.
Subscribe.
You need some subscribes on YouTube,
Watch it on YouTube.
and you want to watch us on YouTube. You can get full episodes of
Yeah.
us on YouTube. You get all on Facebook. You get the clips, and we don't post the whole show, so you're missing out if you're not watching it on YouTube.
Or if you're like me and don't really have time to watch, I listen in my car, on an Apple Podcast, or at work, which is very inappropriate time. I have to turn it off because I'm laughing.
In a quiet room, she just ha 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 ha.
It's so quiet, you can hear a pin drop. You feel like you're making noise opening a bag of chips. And here I am listening to a podcast going, hee 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 hee. I have to turn this off. I'll watch it later. Listen to it later.
That is good stuff, though.
Yeah.
It is.
We do. We're gonna be going a little bit late on this show, but that's okay. We'll
I
still
don't have to work tomorrow.
we'll still get some afterthoughts in. That's why we do this on a Saturday, right? But
Yeah, that's why we switch it.
let's get ourselves into some. Old news. And we got a good one for you. Some old news. Dan comes into my stream. Easy mode, by the way, if you guys want to catch me, mostly Mondays and Friday nights, playing some Final Fantasy 16.
Very
But anyway,
relaxing.
Dan comes into my stream one night and I'm like, what do you want to talk about? And he's like, have you heard about this story? And I'm like, I have not. I'm like, I can't believe I haven't heard about this story. I follow, this thing decently. I mean, I know I'm only following one portion of it, but I think you would hear something like this, but I never heard about it. So then Claudette comes into my stream the next day, and I'm like, what do you want to talk about? She says UFO hearings. So that's what we did. I talked about the UFO hearings. And then she's like, what did Dan want to talk about? And I'm like, this. And she looks it up and she's like, it's happened multiple times. And I'm like, how have I not known about this? And what I'm talking about is phallics on the football field. We're going to go through this article here about the Bills throwing epidemic against the Patriots. I'm going to read this to you guys. The Buffalo Bill fans are a passionate bunch. Are they
Mafia?
They're like the Browns. They're like the Browns. They're passionate, but man, I think this is a little bit more passionate. I have to admit.
That's why they call us the Mafia.
They also have a pretty deranged collective sense of humor. Bill's Mafia is known for jumping through tables, dousing a man in ketchup and mustard, and getting as rowdy as possible before both and during games. Bills fans are known for one other thing: throwing dildos on the field while they play the New England Patriots. It won't stop happening. The Bills hosted the Patriots in the first round of the 2022 or the 2022 NFL playoffs on Saturday night. The game was being played in near 0-degree temperatures, but of course that didn't deter Buffalo fans from getting super jacked up. The Bills offense came out on fire, scoring touchdown after touchdown against the Patriots to open up a big halftime lead. When New England finally scored its first touchdown, with Buffalo well on its way to an easy victory, Bills fans were ready to keep the weirdest tradition alive. Bourne pointing the dildo, and it became. Oh wait, hold on, I missed something. Mac Jones hit Kendrick Bourne for a 3-yard strike to cut the deficit to 33 to 10 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter. That's when Bills fan threw a dildo into the end zone. As you can see, it's right here.
He's pointing at it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the picture I saw.
Bourne pointing at the dildo, and it became an instant meme. You can watch a clip of it happening here. We're not going to watch the clip, but you got the clip right there, too. No, it's not the first time. And it's dildo on the field against the Patriots. During a regular season matchup in 2002, someone in Buffalo's home crowd threw a dildo on the field. After the game, a Bills executive said dildo throwers would be banned for life.
Oh, no.
That's a harsh but probably fitting punishment for throwing a sex toy onto the field, but it didn't deter Bills fans from doing it again and again. In 2017, there was another dildo thrown onto the field during the Bills game in Buffalo. This time, we got some sick footage of the toss from the stands. Let's take a look here. Play.
Dildo on the floor. Dildo on the field. Oh my God.
Is there like a referee sign for that?
Good, but we'll get banned from Facebook for showing it.
Referee sign
Right?
for it.
In 2018, Bills fans threw a dildo onto the field in the game against the Patriots once again. This time, someone actually got arrested for it. The refs decided they were not touching the sex toy with their hands. Honestly, that's a smart move.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know if it's new or not.
Right?
No one wants to touch it.
Someone's got to, though. That guy needs to get paid. That guy needs to get paid. If you thought a global pandemic would stop Bills fans from tossing a phallic object onto the field against the Pats, well, you thought wrong. Bills fans don't stop. They just keep going harder.
Mafia!
The Patriots by playing what was basically a perfect game. What a sweet feeling it must be. Live up Buffalo. Keep your sex toys to yourself, though. And honestly, I am here for it. I'm here for it. I want to expand this. I want this to move into Cleveland. I want Cleveland the Browns to start throwing phallic objects when they're playing the Pats, even though they probably don't play them.
Yeah, everybody that plays Pats.
Everyone.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Just do it. Do it.
Yes, let's do it.
Freaking, I want every team. Every team
Yes.
to do it, and I'm
And
here.
not just the Patriots. Any team that Tom Brady's playing for. Throw them that do.
Well, he's not playing for anyone anymore.
That would be
Oh,
fun.
he's not?
No, he's retired.
Who is?
Tom Brady,
Oh.
I believe.
You
I
can't call somebody retarded these days, man.
said retired.
Yeah, that's what I said.
That's what he said.
That is what he said. I will not.
Argue
Yeah,
that.
man. I think that is one of the most interesting stories that I haven't heard, and I'm telling you, man. Like, I don't like.
Yeah, football's awesome, dude.
Like, I follow the Browns because that's my team, but and I follow football to a degree because I play fantasy football. I cannot believe I did not hear about this story, and obviously happening multiple times.
Multiple years.
Yeah.
No, there was like a Bills Mafia Facebook page or whatever that I was following. And there was the one year they released all these statements about not throwing anything on the field. It was anything, though. They never made a reference towards sex toys or whatever. It was always, and then if it cited any object, it was always snowballs.
Right.
Because that happens a lot, too.
Yeah, I would
It's
imagine.
awful. There's a lot of snow, man.
Yeah.
I think the referee sign should be this.
That's what it is! Now we're getting banned from Facebook.
Yep. You can have it on Facebook.
Oh, really? Can't
It
do
was
that?
fun. It was fun.
You really
Fun
can't
while
do
it lasted.
I don't know.
We're fucking messing with it. Oh, you guys are awesome.
You guys know me that by now. I'm over the universe for a minute, and then it comes back down.
Yeah. Anyhow, guys, yeah, we're actually right there. We don't have time for on the internet, but we can.
Aww.
We can get to that in some afterthoughts. If you would like to catch us on afterthoughts, which we do right after this show.
Hence afterthoughts.
Yeah, hence afterthoughts. Make sure you sign up to our Patreon. But first, I want to get to a little thing that we do at the end of these shows, which we're going to do at the end of the show, for a while. It's a little thing called Let's go with what you love. What band you love and what musical artist you loving right now?
Man, that's a tough one for me. I like a lot of things, but
What are you listening to now? Like, what if you had to put one song on right now?
I had to put one song on right now. I'm going to say, oh, God, I don't know. Actually, I like Maroon 5 a lot. You guys are going to make fun of me for that, but I do like Maroon 5.
Yeah, but I'll wait till we're not on the air.
Yeah. One of these
If I had
days,
to put
that'll
one
probably
song
be
on
one
right
of my
now, it
favorites.
would be Noah Cyrus. Actually.
No. Who?
Noah Cyrus. Not, what's her name? But her sister.
Okay.
Not Miley Cyrus's.
Oh, Miley Cyrus has a sister?
Her name is Noah.
Oh, they're
She's
trying to
actually
get
pretty
her in
good.
the game now, huh?
I like her.
Okay. All right. Dan, what do you love right now?
We did this before, and I don't remember what I said. It's probably going to be the same thing I'm going to say right now, but no, I did not. Absolutely. I never said Luke Bryant, Claudette. Do push-ups. I said Zach Bryant.
Oh, sorry, Zach. Sorry. All right, I'll do push-ups.
But then, now I don't know what to say because that's what I was going to say again. Then Tyler Childers.
Okay. Like,
Who'd you say?
Tyler Childers.
Okay.
is that like country again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of the same genre. Yeah.
You guys
Not exactly the same genre. Depending on how you look at it.
country, man. See, with me, I I'm not in the country all that much. I guess I could tolerate it if I had to, but I couldn't take your guys's, recommendations last time. But I could take Matt's, so I'm kind of gonna do like a half and half thing here for my love. I took Matt's recommendation and I listened to the latest Korn album, and my God, does it rock! It rocks so much it made me go back and listen to the other 20 albums that I didn't
have
before that, and I found out that half of them are decent, but the last 4 albums are really freaking good from this band, and I can't wait to see what comes out next.
I haven't heard latest, but it's funny you say it though, because I've been listening to old Korn lately.
Yeah.
And like really getting into it.
Yeah. Their first
I don't think
album,
I've ever listened to it. I need to do
first
that.
album was the best thing ever, dude. Like that album got me through a lot of anger through my teenage years, for freaking sure. But that's an aside, really, because Matt already kind of said that. But I'm also digging this band called Castlefield, which we will end the show out with. But
nice.
It's like I don't know. They're kind of it's different, and it's not. I mean, it's not really different. It's kind of more. I don't want to say emo-y because it really ain't, but it rocks too. You know what I'm saying? But they're not that well known, and we can actually play them, so that's kind of
right. Yeah, that helps.
Picking them,
makes them better.
But while we're at it, let's get to our hate. Claudette, you got something you hate?
I hate heavy metal, but I'm gonna say Taylor Swift.
You hate Taylor Swift, really?
I don't hate her. She annoys me. Her voice annoys me.
Man, I don't like care for her music, but I think she's an actual cool
I'm not
person.
saying she's terrible. No, I don't hate. Shut up.
And she's
I love
talented.
her.
You know, I don't know.
Right.
Again, I'm not like sitting around listening to Taylor Swift or anything, but
that's what I know. But like, I don't know. Just from what I've read about her, she seems like she's actually
She's a cool person, but I don't.
especially
like
when
her.
you give all your like roadie people like thousands of dollars like in a
Hey,
bonus.
there's nothing wrong with it. There's lots of people, but I just don't care for her music. Her voice just kind of annoys me.
Okay, that's very valid. It's valid. Your opinion is valid here, Dan.
Thank you.
Who you hating?
Oh. You know what? Anytime anybody asks me what band I hate, it's always Nickelback. But listen.
Always Nickelback.
I said last time, so I've done some research, and they have talented people. So it's more I hate Chad Kroger.
Okay, you just hate the front man.
He's a fucking douchebag.
Okay. All right. That's a valid point too.
And if you don't understand, Google it.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we'll have to Google that for sure.
Yeah, Google Chad Kroger.
Yeah. My hate is gonna be
Where my phone is.
My Chemical Romance. I hate that. I can't deal with it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
I really don't like them. That's just my hate. And that, my friend, has been I think next time we're gonna open it up to anything. You love, hate, doesn't matter, doesn't have to be the same thing, but you can do comedians, movies, art. Maybe you hate Picasso. Let me know. You know what I'm saying?
I never met Picasso.
But you know what I'm saying. So music, whatever you guys want to do, you come with your love, hate. Doesn't have to be the same thing. Like if you like a comedian but hate Chad Kroger.
All right, cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah. We'll do it right now.
We could. But we are going to head on over to some afterthoughts. If you want to join us for Afterthoughts, you can sign up right now. And by the time you're done setting up, we'll probably be ready, because it's probably going to take us about 10, 15 minutes for me to get the whole thing ready. Everybody get back in, take their break, and do that stuff. So
yeah,
10, 15 minutes, we're going to go to do some Afterthoughts. And we're going to do some stuff on that. We're going to do a new thing called Dan Memes. You'll understand why I said it that way.
Are you okay? Do you have Tourette's or something?
No. And we are going to we're going to talk about the Ramirez Anderson baseball fight. I don't know if any of you two have seen it. It's actually pretty good. It's pretty good.
I know nothing about what you're talking, but I'm willing to watch a fight, dude.
Baseball brawls are always nice. So we're
Any brawl is always nice.
We're going to get into that, and then we will get into the on the internet that we did not have time for on the show today. So catch us out for that. Make sure, everyone, that you are drinking responsibly. There is no need to be driving home when you're drinking with us. So you better make sure that you're in a safe position. If not, Uber, Lyft, taxi, do your thing, get home safely. Think about your mama. I want to once again repeat, happy anniversary to Aunt Renee and Uncle Dan.
Happy anniversary, Aunt Renee and Uncle Dan.
Drink to that long ass time, and I hope to achieve that myself.
Cheers.
And we will get out of here, and we will end with some Castlefield that I talked about before. So catch you guys on the flip side.
The thoughts in our heads will never feel the same again, 'cause I've always been wrong from the start. The pain in my muscles, the taste of blood in my mouth, the memories I can't get out. And I don't wanna think about the time you met my family last spring. And I don't wanna walk by that old coffee shop again, 'cause maybe I've been feeling just fine, but I can't make things better in time. Maybe I've been feeling just fine, but I can't make things better in
alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
Askin Haskins.